Okay, we're going to tie an egg fly. So first thing we're going to do is get some thread on the hook. Now when tying an egg fly, you want to use minimal thread. You want to keep that shank as skinny as possible. So what we're going to do is throw our thread on. We're going to work our way about halfway down the shank. You don't want to work the thread any farther back than your egg's going to go. You want your egg to be covering the thread. I like to go about halfway. And then what I'll do is I'll take that for a second, take my tag off. Now I'm going to work that thread about halfway back up to the eye. Like that, if you can see that. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my material here. This is about the thickness I'm using. Just fits through a scissor eye. So we're going to cut off a length here. What we're going to do next is I like to pinch the material in the middle, get it as compressed as possible, like a little bow tie. Once you've got it as compressed as you can get it with your fingers, you want to hold it on top of the shank. You want to go between your fingers and do a pinch wrap. You want to go and do another pinch wrap directly over top of your last wrap. And we're going to do a third wrap, also directly over top of your last wrap. Now you can see all that material's on top of the shank. That's where you want it. What some people do is they'll tie one onto the side, the other side, the bottom, the top, trying to just encompass the shank to make a round egg. That's not the best way to do it. So you want all the material sitting on top. The idea here is you're compressing it so that when we cut it, it's actually going to spring back into a ball shape. So the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to go back behind the material over the shank, pull forward and down. What we're doing is we're compressing that tying point not just downward, but this way and this way. So now we're going to go over the front. Front and pull back. Back down under, behind the material, pull forward and down. We're going to do each one twice, making sure we lock that in. You need to keep tension on your thread the whole time you're doing this. Otherwise you'll end up with an egg that looks weird or it'll just fall apart. So while keeping tension, grab your whip finishing tool, finish that egg off. I put lots, why not? So right now it doesn't look like much of an egg. Everything's still on top. So here's the trick. Now these scissors aren't super sharp, but should be okay. So you want to pull everything up fairly hard. You do need strong thread, so what I'm using is GSP. This stuff you can really pull on it, you won't break that thread. You need to be pulling really hard. If you're not compressing that foam in that yarn, you're not going to get good expansion when you cut it. So when I pull everything up, we'll go and we'll just cut on a slight arc. It still doesn't look like much of an egg, but poof. There's your egg. You can clean up any little bits. These scissors aren't super sharp. If they were, it'd be a little cleaner, but you get the idea. It's round. Not perfect, but there you go. So that's how you tie it. You don't need too much thread. A few important steps and you're good.